Hello, everybody. Sam Davidson here with MEA Worldwide. We are inside, we are quarantined, but we are still so excited about all these new shows coming out, including The Baker and the Beauty on ABC. And today I have the pleasure of speaking with Dan Bucatinsky, who is one of the leads on the show. It is a very fun show, Dan. I really enjoyed the pilot, so thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
First of all, I know that you have done so many amazing projects that we all love, and you have a very prolific career, but you're quite picky about what you do, which is amazing. What was it about this script and this project that made you want to commit to it?
It was a combination of things. I had, when I heard about it, I watched the Israeli version, a couple of episodes of it, and really found it kind of fun and delightful. And I love genre. I love shows that kind of bend genres that we're familiar with. This was not a typical procedural show. This wasn't your typical family half-hour comedy. It was a combination of lots of different genres, styles, tones that I liked. And it was funny. A comedic hour is not easy to come by. Dave Frankel, a director that I was a big fan of, was signed on to be the director of the pilot. And I also love the idea of being able to play a character so much like that Ari character in Entourage, who is unedited and aggressive. And, I liked the combination of part dad. I mean, he's really a momager. So I liked the idea of being able to play a momager on a show like this.
Yeah, I love that. And, there's so many new shows that are coming out every week, every day. It feels like some last, some don't. What do you think it is about The Baker and the Beauty that is going to keep people tuning in, that hopefully gives it some longevity during this time?
Something, we're all sort of craving comfort food right now. I know I certainly am. I've put on my COVID-19 pounds, and I feel like in the stuff that we watch, just like in how we're spending our time, we're looking for escape because it's tough out there, and the variables that we cannot control have grown from the variables that we can control. And a show like this, just like movies like Notting Hill and Love Actually and My Big Fat Greek Wedding, excuse me, are just are such escapes. And modern day fairy tale, I feel like The Baker and the Beauty is exactly what people are looking for right now in terms of the comedy and the warmth. And plus, it's a Latin cast. All of us speak Spanish. We shot the thing in Puerto Rico. There is like a visceral vibe that comes off the screen when you see this show that I feel like is gonna be something that people respond to.
And tell me a little bit about what that was like, having it be, a mostly Latin cast and a mostly Latin crew as well, and shooting in Puerto Rico. You said,
Yeah.
do you speak Spanish as well?
I do. The entire cast speaks Spanish. I'm from Argentina. Nathalie Kelley's mom is from Peru. We have cast members from Puerto Rico, cast members who are Cuban, a cast member who's Dominican, one from Ecuador. I mean, we all speak Spanish, and we all love to dance, and we love to eat, and we love being in Puerto Rico allowed us to be with an all Spanish-speaking crew for the most part. And there was something about that, and being away from our homes and our families while we were shooting, that made us turn to each other and immerse ourselves in that world. And so in depicting a Miami scene and a family that runs a bakery in Miami that's Cuban American, there's an authenticity to the experience we all had that I think is visible on screen. And granted, my character is on the Noah Hamilton side. I play the manager. I'm in a different world. But there is something about the vibe of the whole show that I think makes people fall in love with all the characters, even when they are doing questionable things.
And your character is one that isn't really in support, at least at first, of this love story. What
Right.
can you tell us about how you get in the way of the romance and, what your relationship is like to Noah Hamilton besides just being her manager?
It's kind of interesting because my character is, I'm certainly protective of her brand and her career. That is my job as her manager. But there is a real parental vibe to Lewis. The things that he is trying to keep her from doing and the reasons why he is not in support of this relationship are oddly similar to the reasons why Rafael Garcia, the patriarch of the bakery, is not in support of Daniel's dating this celebrity. It's like she's from a different world, and I'm often sort of saying to Noah, he's from a different world. Don't get distracted. Keep your eye on the prize. And I think that in many ways, Lewis that has known Noah since she was a little girl is trying to protect her from heartbreak. But Lewis, who is also the Barracuda businessman, is trying to arrange a more appropriate potential love interest for a big celebrity like her. I mean, I think she should be dating a movie star or a race car driver. I think Lewis has got his eye on many different things, and in a parental way is both there to try to keep Daniel from stepping in it, and I think he's also trying to protect Noah from getting her heartbroken. And I think when the audiences start to get to know Lewis more and more, which happens in like the third and fourth episodes, they start to see more and more of what makes him tick. But yes, at the beginning, he is not in favor of this dalliance.
And what was it like working with Nathalie Kelley? I've been a fan of her career for several years now. She is one of the most beautiful actresses, I think, on television. What was your vibe like off screen?
We became friends very, very quickly. Nathalie was really very integral in trying to build a relationship between the two of us that could somehow mirror what we had to do on screen. And it did sort of happen. And we became very good friends, and she's incredibly warm. And we became very comfortable with each other very quickly, which is good because Lewis has known Noah since she was born. And I really wanted there to be a familiarity with one another off camera so that it would read on camera. But Nathalie is beautiful inside and out, and she cares deeply about so many different causes and issues. She really kept the cast informed about ways that we can not only continue to support Puerto Rico and the rainforests of Puerto Rico and our environment, but really came to us and brought us together around a lot of issues of hunger and global warming, and even in the fashion industry in terms of sustainability. So I learned a lot from Nathalie. I'm sure she learned a little bit from me. I'm a dad in real life, so I often was paternal towards her, and we had our disagreements that we were able to work through the way family does. And that's how I felt about everybody on the show, and we all became very close.
And so for people that are watching the show that, aren't super familiar with, the Latinx community, and they're learning new things and taking this family in as though they were their own family, because, I certainly connected with the characters on the show. What are you hoping the audiences take away and that they learn about the culture that they might not have known before?
Well, there are many things that are really specific to a Latin family that are really authentic in the show. And Lisa Vidal as Mari, and Carlos Gomez and David Del Rio and Belize Escobar, who is a revelation. They really feel like a real family. And there are many aspects of that which has to do with the way in which they fight and the way in which they dance and the way in which they come together and they support each other, and sometimes have their grown kids still living with them for longer than maybe other people have their grown kids live with them. That feels very Latin. But everything else about that family is like every family. Ooh, I'm sorry. Is like every family. Oh my God, it's Lisa Vidal calling me.
That is
Hold on one second.
Hi.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh
That's so funny. I'm in an interview. I'm going to call you back.
You're what?
I'm in an interview. I'll call you right back.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
I just
Sorry.
interviewed Lisa the other day.
I should have held up the picture and been like, you're on the interview with me. But Lisa and I are very close. But so there is that Latin thing, and we as a cast danced all the time and enjoyed food together and are very passionate. That is for sure. Vocal and passionate, and we fight and we come together and we love. But there is something integral about that family that is like every family in terms of the way in which we protect each other and we love each other. So I feel like there's both a window into the Latin, into what an immigrant family that makes it on their own in Miami, like a Cuban American family in Miami would be like, but also so much of it, and it's based on an Israeli series, and that family was authentic as well. There is something about all of them that make you feel like you know them, and they remind us of our own family. So it's a double. It's a win-win because you're getting a window into a very authentic Latin vibe, but you're also relating to them the way you do to your own family.
And, speaking of passion, I know that you also are a great writer and producer, and that is something that you care about in addition to acting. During this time down, have you kind of been developing any new projects? Are you working on anything? Any talks with Lisa Kudrow? Because we're always hoping that you two work together again. It was such a
Well,
great.
we are still partners. We've been partners for 17 years.
Mhm.
We are currently in production. Well, we paused for a beat during this crisis, but we are currently in production on what is our 10th, maybe 11th year doing Who Do You Think You Are, which in a twist of fate that is so unbelievable. We began the series 10 years ago at NBC. We then moved to TLC, and now we're coming back to NBC. And we're very excited to sort of relaunch the series at NBC this year, God willing. We have an amazing cast, which I cannot reveal yet, but we haven't quite finished shooting all those episodes, 13 of them. We've shot close to half. So we're very busy doing that. We have a daytime we have a daytime game show called 25 Words or Less, which is on 5 days a week, that is hosted by Meredith Vieira. Lisa and I play often on the show as some of the celebrities, as does Mary McCormick, who is an executive producer along with us. So we had a blast shooting 165 episodes of that last summer, and we're about to launch a second season of that. So we've certainly been busy with our projects, and we have a couple of other things cooking up. I'm writing a pilot right now for ABC Studios. So amongst all those projects and homeschooling my kids, I certainly keep myself busy.
Well, and lastly, I just wanted to ask how you and your family are doing during this time. What's it like teaching your kids? Have you learned anything new that you forgot about in the past?
Oh my gosh. My hat's off to every educator in this country, in the world. It is not an easy task. We are proctoring them and monitoring them and trying to keep them off of YouTube during their lunch breaks and during their PE is a very interesting thing when you're doing it via Zoom, because it's very easy for you to not get out of your chair. So there's a lot of me trying to get the kids to race around and get outside and exercise. But there's also a lot of work that they have to do that I am really ill-equipped at doing. So this has been a real eye-opening experience. We have certainly come to know the best of us as a family and the worst of us as a family, because we're holed up together so much. But we've also been able to spend a lot of good time together. So the combination of the downtime and the times when we really have to get to work has been a challenge, and it looks like it's going to keep on going. So every day I vow to do a little bit better.
Absolutely.
And I've been baking a lot. So I've put on my Instagram feed a lot of my successes and my failures at trying to bake.
Well, where can everyone follow you and see some of that amazing content?
I'm at Dan Bucatinsky, both on Twitter and on Instagram. And right around now, a lot of it is about Baker and the Beauty, but I will also update people about the other projects and personal musings and all that. So yeah, follow me on social media.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much for your time, Dan. I really
Thank you.
appreciate it. And I really am so excited about the show. I love it. Everybody, please tune in to The Baker and the Beauty on Monday nights at 10 p.m. on ABC, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Goodbye. Thank you.
Goodbye.